Can you do a road trip in a 10-year-old electric car? Specifically this one, which is a 2014 Tesla Model S, 85 kilowatt hour, not dual motor, not performance. We're going to do 500 miles today. We're going to visit some superchargers. So let's see if you can still do that in a 10-year-old car. Come on along with us. Okay, first thing we're going to do is take a look. We've got 84,000 miles, so it's not a very high mileage vehicle. And we're going to reset the trip odometer. Here, reset trip A. And reset. Okay, so that'll give us our numbers for the trip. And we're going to head out. Okay, so we made it to our first stop here. Battery is at 27%, and we've done, since our last charge, 165.6 miles, 295 watt hours per mile. And what it's estimating here in the Grand Forks is a 30-minute charge, and then that's going to take us to Fergus Falls, Minnesota. So before I plug it in though, I'm going to just do one additional thing here. When I started out this morning, we were at a full charge, and so we've now used, we're down to 27%, so that means we've used 73% of the battery, and we've used 48.8 kilowatt hours. So if I just do the quick math here and see, we did 48.8 kilowatt hours, and then we use 73%, so divide by 0.73. So our total battery capacity just on that calculation is 66.8 kilowatt hours. And that's assuming the battery percentage indicator here in the corner is linear. So let's just try and do that calculation again on our next charging stop. So I'm going to plug it in right now, and let's see how many kilowatts we're going to get in terms of power. Okay, so it's estimating still 30 minutes to get to our next, to continue our trip. And I can see the power is ramping up, 90 kilowatts. Our state of charge is actually fairly high, 27%. So I didn't expect it to go too high. I started out with a full charge this morning from home, so that's why it's only charging it now. It's 86 kilowatts. If we arrive with a lower state of charge, it would be charging at a higher rate, because the lower your state of charge, the quicker it's going to recharge your vehicle. And then as it continues to increase in your overall battery percentage, that charging rate is going to taper off. So we're at 84 kilowatts right now, and it's 11:30 exactly. It says 30 minutes, so at noon, let's see where we're at and see if we can continue our trip. Gonna take a quick lunch break. Okay, so lunch took way longer than I expected. So we've been here for an hour, and we've charged up to 89%, which is way overcharged. But the good news is that means in Fergus Falls, we're going to need to travel and charge a lot less. So let's unplug this vehicle and get going. Yeah, the lunch line was super long, so it tells me I've got enough charge to finish my trip here. And it even tells me I've got 25 minutes till I get to my charge limit, and that's when Tesla will start charging me fees if I stay too long. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we've been driving non-stop since our last stop. We're at 27% state of charge. We went 134.5 miles in an hour and 55 minutes, and we used 42.2 kilowatt hours of electricity. So maybe let's do that calculation again on our battery and see what it comes out with. So when we left last time, we were at 89% state of charge, and now we're at 27. So 89 minus 27 is 61. So we do 4. All right, so let's do 42.2 kilowatt hours divided by 0.61 equals 69.18. Okay, interesting. So it's slightly different from last time, which was around 66. So originally, when this car was new, it didn't have 85 kilowatt hours. The car is called 85 kilowatt hour battery, but it didn't start out with 85 kilowatt hours of in total usable capacity. Electric vehicle will have some reserve capacity that is not accessible by the user. Plus, I think it truly isn't an 85 kilowatt hour battery. And what I've read is it initially had around 77 kilowatt hours of usable power, and we're at 69 right now according to this. We'll do another calculation later and see what it comes out to, but for the meantime, let's plug it in and let's see. It says to continue the trip, estimates 30 minutes of time. So we're at 2:30 exactly. So let's come back by 3 and see where we're at. So let's see what rate of charge we get here. It's going to start ramping up pretty quick. Well, it bumped up to about 95, and now it's back down to 89 already. So again, because we overcharged last time, we're already at 28%. If we were down to like 5%, it would be over 100, I'm sure. But not too bad for a 10-year-old Model S. Okay, I'll see you in half an hour. Okay, we're back, and it's 2:58. Let's see where we're at. So it still says we have 7 more minutes of charging. But yet if I look at this other screen here, it says when we get to the next supercharger, we'll be at 7%, which is not a lot of buffer, but for me, that's not too much. Actually, interesting, it says on this screen here, estimated charge time 10 minutes. But if you go to this screen, it says now 6 minutes. Anyway, so we're up to 8% now, estimated state of charge at Clearwater, and then you can see the final destination there is the hotel. But anyway, let's get moving. Well, we just got back to our next supercharger, and good news, it says battery very low, and it's saying we should charge the car, which is a perfect idea. Okay, so our state of charge right now is 8%, which is really, in my mind, pretty ideal for a road trip when you're arriving at a supercharger. And typically you wouldn't run your battery that low, but we're going to charge it up right away. And this way, being that it's a lower state of charge, it's going to charge quicker. Now let's take a look before I shut the car off, before I plug it in. Since our last charge, we've done 127 miles in 1 hour and 50 minutes. We consumed 38.4 kilowatt hours, and our average was 302 watt hours per mile. And our average for our entire trip so far today has been 303 watt hours per mile. So the car is estimating that we'll need 20 minutes to charge. Now our final destination here is this hotel, and there is no charger there. So I'm going to overcharge the vehicle. Charge extra. So I'm not going to arrive with a low percentage because there's no space to charge there. So I'll be spending a little bit of extra time here, but I'll get it plugged in and get a move on. And maybe we can try that math again there on the battery capacity numbers. Let's see what that turns out to. Say 38.4 is the number there. Okay, let's do that battery capacity calculation again there. So 38.4, we're down to 8% battery state of charge. And when we started this segment of the trip, we were at 64%. Okay, so let's take that. So that's 56. So we got 38.4, and then we've used 56% of the battery. So divided by 0.56. So that comes out to 68.57. Okay, so that's more consistent with the second reading we had. So 68.5, 69, somewhere in there as a battery capacity reading for this car, our estimate of usable capacity. Anyway, let's get it plugged in. Just curious again to see how fast of a charge we're going to get right now. What's our kilowatt speed going to go up to? It is supercharging. I bet you we'll go to over 100 this time. And the reason is because we're at such a low state of charge. So to minimize the time you spend at these charging stops, if you come with a low state of charge, 124. Okay. I know for the brand new cars, 250 kilowatts is what you would normally expect at this state of charge, but this car is 10 years old. It was never designed to do 250 kilowatts for recharged speed. So it maxed out at 124. I know it's tapering already. It's down to 120, and it'll continue to taper down. But we're certainly going to get a lot of additional energy here pretty quickly. So, okay, let's go take a break. Okay, the car is smart enough to tell me I have enough charge to continue my trip. And actually, my trip ends at this hotel here. So it's going to have, a minute ago it showed that I was going to have about 23%, 24% when I arrive, which is fine because there's no charging station there. So I'll use that to run around when we're at the hotel. Okay, so let's get this thing unplugged. Okay, we've made it now to our final destination. And so just to summarize what happened today, we traveled 493 miles. Our efficiency was 298 watt hours per kilometer. And we used 147.1 kilowatt hours of electricity. And we've got 27% spare battery capacity left over currently. So the question still remains, can you do a 500-mile road trip in a day in a 2014 Tesla Model S85, a 10-year-old electric vehicle? And I guess the answer is yes. We really didn't run into any trouble here. I was actually slower than the car at most stops. I had to go and get a lunch and do some other things during our stops, and the car is ready for me before I was. So I think even a 10-year-old car will still be fine. That's my thoughts on a road trip, 500 miles in one day, which I know is not a very long road trip. But what are your thoughts on my road trip here? Leave me some comments down below. If you found this video interesting or informative, I'd appreciate you giving me a thumbs up and consider subscribing for future videos. Thanks a lot for watching and have a great day.